for joining in. Basically, I am doing interviews with different poets, and we basically just want to know a little bit deeper about what poetry is about, what their poetry is about, their creativity on their poetry, their backgrounds, a little bit more about themselves. And today, for our special guest, today is Isaac. His name is Isaac, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself a little bit more. Isaac, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Just give me like a brief, short summary about yourself, who you are, your name, just a little bit.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm very audible. Am I? Awesome. So my name is Isaac Yamikani Kaputalamba. I am Zimbabwean born, but I'm from Malawian heritage, and I go by the name Isaac Yami, which is short, basically, because my names are literally too long. And I'm a poet, a writer, and I like calling myself amazing. Like self-affirmation, though. Like I like calling myself amazing. And yeah.
That's a very good way of introducing yourself to the world. Thank you very much. So I like to, whenever I get to know people, I like to know a little bit history about them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know a little bit history on how did you bump into poetry? How did you discover that this was actually something cool? How and when was that? How old were you?
The very first memory that I have about poetry, it's a bit faint. It's like I was writing something about trees, and I was literally so young and everything, and I was always a writer before anything. And then someone introduced me to reciting speeches and presentations and everything. So I was doing that for a while, and then later on, someone introduced me to spoken word in university, and I watched it for close to 3 years, just watching it, learning it, and liking it, and understanding the arts basically. And then I realized, I'm a writer, I can actually speak. Why shouldn't I just give it a shot? And this is basically like 6 years ago, and when I wrote my first poem, and I got good reviews from my friends.
What was the first poem about, though? Were you writing about girls like everybody else does, or were you doing something more special?
I don't know why love is always a sticker. Like, I don't know why love usually starts, but I actually wrote a poem about love, but I feel like that was quack because I didn't end up using that poem.
How old were you even at the time?
I think I was 9. I think I was 19. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that was like what's like me actually sitting down and writing something, but I didn't know if that was spoken word. But my memory of writing spoken word was my very first one. I think was the one that I did for TEDx, which is called "Are You a Bully of Dreams?" That was like my first. Like I sat down and said, "I want to write this one." Sorry.
You did a whole TEDx. That's quite amazing. That's an achievement on its own.
Yeah, that's like my very first. Like that's my baby right there. That's my best spoken word piece of all time.
Okay, so if you had to kind of describe your style of poetry, I know some people write about culture, some people write about tradition, some people write about love and romance. What kind of poetry are you into? What is your leash?
I think firstly I'm versatile. I can write about anything now, but I think I'm more on the poetry that has to do with thought-provoking content, like stuff that you gotta think like, whoa, someone can think like this. And sometimes I do write poetry that's inspiring, I've been told as well. So I think I'm more on the story, kind of learning something, kind of vibe. I wanna teach people stuff. I feel like my poetry is all about stories and teaching people and getting people to have a self-introspection about themselves, basically.
Okay. So, okay, with you saying that, what is the reason? What in you usually wants to provoke the conversation? Because what I'm getting from you is you like to have poetry that provokes conversations and brings in dialogues from different angles and makes you think a little bit wilder than you usually would. But what about it makes why do you exactly do that? Is there a specific reason as to why you are so attracted to that kind of poetry?
Basically, I think the way we think needs a certain level of revamp. Like I feel like sometimes we don't use our brains enough. And for instance, like if you're gonna listen to there's a poem that I wrote about social status titled "I Prefer the Days When We Were Naked." Basically, I'm talking about the status quo of is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're thinking?
When we were naked, that's already on its own. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like I prefer the days when we were naked. Basically, I was talking about how status quo, how people think people deem people who wear designer clothes as maybe you're elite, and people who wear maybe other things are not elite and stuff. Like basically we wear clothes for coverage and then to just dress up, and you know what. But then we have this thing whereby we have started materializing things, consumerism and stuff. So specifically for that poem, I just wanted to have people like, you know what, sometimes what about that Gucci that someone's wearing. Sometimes when someone's wearing a plain t-shirt, it's okay. We shouldn't judge each other in that regard. So that is the type of way I provoked some type of thinking there.
Oh, that is already, provoking me myself. I'm actually thinking about it right now, and I understand why you're doing the thing that you do. It really does bring impact. Okay, so on that note, right? So I want to fast forward you a few years from now, right? Where do you see yourself as a poet? Do you think you'll still continue with it? Do you think one can build a career in it? And who are the people in the industry that you really look up to and are like really, loving what they're doing right now in the poetry industry, for an example?
As an African person who comes from a third world country, hard to clearly say this in public. Like I'm just going to continue because of like, oh wait a minute, what happens to normal occupations and everything else. But let's look at the next 5 years. I'm thinking about better-fying myself basically as a poet. I want to go out there and present the arts and debunk so many misconceptions, because people think poets are just some rough people who don't think, or maybe they're just narcissists. And I want to be this thing whereby I give out art that's very inviting, that gets people very intertwined and engaging and so forth. And for that to happen, I like my generation because we're getting more advancement in technology. Sometimes you can do exclusive cool videos done before and so sort of that thing. So I'm aiming to package poetry different, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna continue doing it. I believe the world needs more educational art. And my favorite spoken word artist, his name is called Suli Briggs. He's from the UK, and Nego too. These two are brilliant, not because of really their art as per se, but they kind of introduced spoken word differently to me. Like it wasn't so Shakespearean. It was more engaging. It was less rhyme, but I could still feel the story and everything. So for me, I do get like from Suli and Nego to me they're like phenomenal. And one of the one that I like recently is called Chris Webb. He's a Christian poet. That guy is terrific. He's creative. He's so many things, and he's literally presenting poetry different. So intertwining and collaborating all of those things into what I want to do, I think I kind of have a good future in spoken word, and I want to perfect the art, and I want to package it very well so that you would definitely say I want to be a poet, because it's definitely cool and it's something to emulate to.
Okay, so I'm going to bring you a little bit to the creative process of writing your poetry, right? You know, I've looked up a lot of artists, musicians specifically. Some of them, they wake up in the middle of the night and they just grab their recorders and they just start with a beat or something, you know. People have different ways of being creative. Some people, they always have a pen around them so that whenever they feel creative, they just write down a piece. Take me through your creative process. Like, do you usually just come up with something? Do you see something and then you're provoked by it? Do you wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, ooh, I've got the perfect word to say? Like, how do you, you know, get your creativity going, and how do you write on your poetry?
First of all, I want to go on the record and say having a writer's block sucks. You know, not being able to write sucks. So one of the things that is really difficult in art, I think that's the reason why we need to get paid more, because coming up with pieces sometimes is hard.
Yeah.
Like, in the sense that sometimes I can walk around, like maybe I'm walking down from the bus stop, going to my house, I just come up with an amazing piece. Just like, you know, I'm just looking around and then I figure, okay, cool, this could make sense. And one conjoined statement, one this and that, and then it becomes very incredible. But going down to my writing process, basically what I do is I think a lot. Like, I have these moments where I'm just swimming in my own thoughts and everything. So I derive, first of all, I think about a concept, right? Maybe let's talk about the mind, right? I think about the mind. I'm thinking about what is it that people don't understand about the mind, right? And then, okay, cool. And then I leave it like that, right? Maybe the next day I'm thinking, what about mastering your mind, basically, as a person? Like, what if you master your mind? What happens? Okay, cool. In normal day-to-day living, I'm thinking, if I am to master my mind, I do better, I think better. Come on, I am better, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, fine. I'm getting somewhere. And then I'm thinking, you know, when you master your mind, it's something that is a mandate. It's something that's serious. It's something that you need to do, you know, because you're thinking, maybe you're in class and you're tired, but because your mind is strong, you tell yourself, keep on going. And then I'm thinking, you know what, this could be a nice concept to talk about, how to master your mind is a mandate, you know, mental health is really important, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, cool, that's amazing. And then now I'm thinking about a metaphor now, right? I'm thinking about how can I resonate with people normally, like in a cool way. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. What if destiny was a place? Destiny was a person, right? And then I think, okay, cool. So if I have mastered my mind, and it's a mandate to master my mind, probably if I ask Destiny out on a date, she'll basically tell me, you know what, you need to master your mind, because that's the only way I can go out with you. So think about it now. So setting up all of those things that I'm talking about, like if you master your mind, you're the master of your mind. To master your mind it's good because you think better, you do better. When you master your mind, it's a mandate, and then at the end of the day, when you master your mind, you become successful, right? So the concept there is basically, I've used the word mastermind and I've used the concept mastermind. So now I'm thinking, what's the best palatable way to deliver such a message on mental health? And I'm like, okay, cool, dope. And from then now, I'm thinking about adding flesh. Like, I'm thinking, where should I get another quote? And one of the things I actually do is I write notes on my phone. Like, I like a statement. Like, if I hear a statement from someone, I'll just type it on my notes. And then I'll go through my notes each and every single day. And then I'm thinking, this statement is nice. So imagine my notes are like 1,000 notes. And then if I pick thought 900, and then I pick another thought from 500, join them, right? They start becoming a poem. And then when I sit down now and I'm thinking, this sequence makes sense. And then now I'm trying to rehearse, because I'm a performance poetry guy. And then I start rehearsing. And then from there,
how you do it. Wow, okay.
I like
That on itself is quite a journey, because for me to write down quotes that I've heard and seen, oh my God, it takes a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah, quite does.
It takes a lot of creativity, it takes a lot of love, it takes a lot of passion. But for me, I'm going to put you on the spot right now, right? So you say you like to intimidate the mind. I would like you to give me maybe a sentence or two of something you could say to me that would really get me going.
Okay, come again. Ask that question again. Ask that question.
Okay, so I basically want you to give us and the audience a little bit of yourself, a little bit of je ne sais quoi, you know, a little bit of your poetry. Give us a line or two of something you've written before, or, you know, that could arouse the mind.
Okay. Some I've written before. I think all right, cool. So this poet, like my all-time great, Are You a Bully of Dreams? So is it that you think you can't do? Isn't that you think they can't do something because you can't do it? Is it fair to use you as a measurement of capabilities in regards to other people's abilities? Sometimes people need confirmation. Sometimes people need upbringing and uplifting to confirm stuff that they know that they can already do. So your negative lines mixed with jealousy, not only are they annoying but irritating. What is it to you that you gain when you discourage someone? What is it to you that you benefit when you encourage someone? It might be nothing, but picture this: if you do absolutely nothing and just stay quiet, you can be a reference of upliftment. See, doubt kills so many dreams that failure has ever done. So you need to learn how to to say stuff and basically.
I'm just excuse.
That's pretty much on what.
Okay, sir, I get your vibe already. I'm already hooked. I'm literally so hooked. Wow, okay, your work is really good. I can already tell. So, as you know, or as everybody might not know, you guys had a successful show on the 6th of February at the BKM Theatre. Tell me about how it was standing in front of so many people and expressing your art, and how people received it. How did you feel in the moment?
That show was a genesis of greatness. What we did is we're like Poets on an Island is basically a collective of poets living on an island who are incredible individually, and then we decided, let's just combine and then dazzle the whole island, right? So what we did is we came up with the idea. I think the initial idea came up in 2017, but then we put it on. Yeah, like we put it on the post, right? And then we decided, then last year late, let's do this, because it's incredible and I think it's the right time. So we only had 3 weeks to organize an event. We needed to look for a venue. We needed to promote a venue, promote the event itself. We need to practice. We need to come up with material. We only had 3 weeks to pull up the show. And like I said, I'm grateful because the team that I have is incredible, talented people who are focus-minded and so forth. So what we did is we basically set up a night of spoken word poetry alone. Like there wasn't any other side piece, like whatever. There wasn't any side piece. It was just basically a night of stories and poetry, period. And that was never been seen before on the island, basically, because poetry is used as a halftime show sometimes. Sometimes they basically they basically use us as poets as fillers of some sort. So
you guys really want to stand your ground and ground you guys, hey? As poets.
And then we told ourselves, like, you know what? We're just gonna own a show where people are just gonna come and they're gonna listen to poetry. So it was quite a risk to take, because you're thinking people don't know poetry and whatever. But what we did? We said, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna basically